Maduro and his wife, Cecilia Flores, appeared in court earlier today. And if you will ignore the fact that I'm going to look at my phone for just a moment, there were a few moments in court. I'll note they did plead not guilty to those drug trafficking and narco terrorism charges both of them were facing. Maduro repeatedly attempted to speak despite being cut off multiple times by the judge in this case. The judge, over 90 years old, but has been serving. He's a Clinton appointee for quite some time. Judge Alvin Hellerstein, rather, there. I want to read some of those quotes. Of course, court in Venezuela works a lot differently than it does in the U.S., but Nicolas Maduro, this was just kind of one of those, this was just and I'm losing the name in my head, but it's a hearing where you're essentially read your rights and you choose, the suspect here would choose, do you plead guilty, not guilty? You're essentially read your rights. If you can't afford an attorney, there will be one appointed for you, that type of thing. The probable cause hearing, that is what it's called. Essentially just, it's not your time to defend yourself. It's the judge there is simply there to read your rights and make sure you know what you're being placed in jail for and what you are being charged with. And also decide your bail if you get bail. In this case, Nicolas Maduro and his wife did not receive bail. The attorney for Nicolas Maduro making it clear they weren't going to seek trying to get their client out at this moment in time, out of the federal prison they are staying in Brooklyn, in New York. But some of those key quotes again, he goes, quote, this is Nicolas Maduro saying, quote, I am innocent. I am not guilty. I am a decent man, the president of my country. He's continued throughout this hearing that he was still the president of Venezuela. Legally, that is not a fact anymore because the vice president there, Rodriguez, has been appointed as the new president by the High Court. That's legally. Of course, many, and I'll note, including the U.S., were under the belief that the opposition candidate back in the 2024 election actually won the race, and state TV was forced to read the results in a way that made it seem as if Nicolas Maduro did win. That is the same understanding that the United States has. Another key quote here, quote, I am here, kidnapped since January 3, Saturday. He also said, quote, I was captured in my home in Caracas, Venezuela. Quote, I am a kidnapped president. I am a prisoner of war. That is what he said to a protester as he was leaving the courtroom. Quote, I am not guilty of anything that is mentioned here. So there is some defiant moments there inside that courtroom as this was all playing out. We have video, as you take a look on the left side of your screen, of the helicopter that was transporting Maduro to the jail there, transporting him back to the prison, the federal prison he's been staying in, where where Luigi Mangione, who is the alleged killer of the United Healthcare CEO, as well as Sean Diddy Combs, he was once stayed at that prison there. So a prison that is not rare to see high-profile suspects inside that jail, and there's that helicopter landing there. We might see Maduro on this camera from earlier if we stick with it long enough, so we'll do that. As we wait for a sighting of Maduro, I want to show you guys something else quickly here. If you'll give me just a moment. We have been providing live updates on all of the developments for this case over on brooklynnews.com. I want to, one moment guys, I'm going to pull it up on your screen. I'm setting it up so we can show you these live updates. So over on brooklynnews.com, I'm going to watch this feed there that you just saw on your screen, but over on brooklynnews.com, I'll take this out for just a second. We have been providing live updates on the incident. As I move my mouse over there and scroll for you, you're able to see this is essentially a summary of what we know right now. You can go over to brooklynnews.com and read that right now. And then as we get in updates, we're putting in the time that we entered this update. The last update was from this morning because there has been, of course, less details than we originally saw come out. But essentially, this is on Maduro and his wife Flores pleading not guilty to all charges. And then it details that we're also talking about oil prices. They're showing slow movement, but some movement there after the capture of the president. And then a story that I want to get to actually right now, and we are seeing Maduro on that shot from earlier. Let me quickly switch to it so I can show you guys. This is again earlier in New York City. There is Maduro on your screen. This is, you see him there appearing in brown clothing, brown shirt, maybe a little bit of a limp. This is something we also saw, possibly injured after the capture of Maduro by U.S. forces. I'll note in court today, his wife, Cecilia Flores, also told the judge that she had severe and kind of heavy bruising on her ribs. Unclear if that is related to the capture of both of them or if that has anything to do with it.